Bernie Sanders is the Democratic nominee. Will you campaign for him?
That's Hillary Clinton on Fareed Zakaria's CNN show over the weekend. And unfortunately, she continues to spread her hateful, divisive messaging in regard to Bernie Sanders on cable news, on mainstream media, anywhere where she has an audience. And so she was asked a question by Fareed Zakaria. Let's see how she answered.
I will support the nominee of the Democratic Party.
But will you campaign for him?
I don't know if he would ask me to campaign for him, Fareed, because I have no idea what he is thinking about for a general election campaign. As I've said many times, I do not think he's our strongest nominee against Donald Trump.
Is that an endorsement of Joe Biden?
I'm not endorsing.
There's nobody left.
Well, I guess that's true. There isn't anybody left. But I think what Joe's victories on Super Tuesday showed is that he is building the kind of coalition that I have, basically. It's a broad-based coalition. I finished most of the work I needed to do for the nomination on Super Tuesday, and then it kind of lingered on. And I think Joe is on track to doing exactly the same thing, putting together a coalition of voters who are energized.
In other words, Biden's gonna lose.
Yeah.
If he's up against Trump, he's gonna lose. I mean, I don't know, she lacks any and all self-awareness.
100%. She's talking as if she's president of the United States.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I think the only reason she's not endorsing Biden is because she doesn't want to hurt his chances, because they all know she's deeply unpopular. So now she then turns around and goes, Joe's building the same kind of coalition I did. And how did that turn out? So we're rude for pointing it out. She's not rude for punching Bernie Sanders in the face 1,000 times on television and telling people that he's not electable. So they force us to say, wait, you would know how someone is electable, how? You lost to a guy with an IQ probably under 70, okay? So let's just keep it real, let's keep it real. But popular vote, no, you're not president. A doofus is president because your team sucked so hard that they lost to that orange clown.
Yep.
And so after losing to Ronald McDonald, I don't think you get to lecture us on how great your coalition was and how the same coalition should be the one going up against Donald Trump.
Well,
and Fareed Zakaria too. Like, no one has any self-awareness of anything.
Right.
You couldn't ask the question, but wait, you said that's the same coalition. It's not the coalition that lost to Trump.
But that would be impolite.
That
would be
to point out the
truth.
most obvious thing in the world.
Well, can Hillary Clinton at least lecture us about unity? Too bad,
please.
She's about to. Let's take a look.
Please. Good.
One of the challenges you had was unifying the party, particularly the Bernie Sanders wing of the party. Do you think Joe Biden will be able to do that better? Is Bernie Sanders more likely to be more cooperative this time around?
Well, I hope so, because his failure and the behavior of a lot of his top aides and certainly many of his supporters up to the convention, at the convention, and even up to election day was not helpful. I had thought we would unify. That's what we'd always done before, and that's what I expected. I certainly tried to do that when I ran against Barack Obama and worked very hard for him. So I don't know what his plans or the people around him are planning. I can only hope that they understand we all have to have a singular goal of defeating Donald Trump. There is nothing more important.
So I think it's important to share with you the type of unity that Hillary Clinton practices, because in her fancy new Hulu docuseries, she was quoted as saying the following about Bernie Sanders. Sanders was a career politician. He didn't work until he was 41, and then he got elected to something. It was all just baloney, and I feel bad that people got sucked into it. So I've heard this attack toward Bernie Sanders a lot. And it's this way of painting him as like this lazy guy that was mooching off of the system his entire life until at 41 he finally decided to get a big boy job. Except he didn't want to work in corporate America. So he had, honestly, like a dream situation set up for me. According to his own resume, what he did before he was elected into office, he spent 12 years of employment after graduation from 1964 to 1976 as a freelance writer, a carpenter, a youth counselor, and state employee. But he was lazy. He didn't do anything till he was 41.
Yeah, but those are real person jobs, a carpenter. You know what Hillary Clinton did? She was on the board of Walmart. Apparently that's a real job where you get rich off of backing the worst corporations in America. But a carpenter who works with his hands, what a loser, right? But you could tell us about what a winner you are, Hillary Clinton. Okay, so before we go to more clips of Hillary Clinton, let's just clarify the record, because what she said there was lie on top of lie. Fareed Zakaria playing the role of a journalist, but not actually being one, didn't challenge any of the lies. Twice as many people that backed Hillary Clinton against Obama in the 2008 primary voted against Barack Obama as Bernie Sanders supporters voting against Hillary Clinton. Twice as many. So she did a miserable job of unifying the party back when she ran and lost to Obama in the primaries. 25% of our voters voted for John McCain. 25%. Why? She barely did anything. Bernie Sanders, on the other hand, did 39 rallies for her and pulled a historically good number of people that voted for him in the primaries to vote for Hillary Clinton in the general election. A historically good number. Have you ever seen that on cable news? No. Everyone, Fareed Zakaria, Hillary Clinton, everyone on cable news lies, and pretends that Bernie Sanders didn't do enough. Oh, poor Hillary Clinton. Wouldn't have lost to a mentally incompetent person like Donald Trump if it wasn't for big bad Bernie only doing 39 rallies for her. Do you know what the name of the Hillary Clinton supporters were after she lost to Obama in that primary? Puma. You know what Puma stands for? Party Unity My Ass. That's who supported Hillary Clinton. And Obama was lucky enough and good enough as a politician to get beyond it and beat McCain anyway. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, not a good politician, no matter how much Bernie Sanders helped her and brought her more numbers she ever brought Obama. They blamed him anyway. No good deed goes unpunished. So, well, the one part I'll agree with her is if Bernie Sanders is the nominee, I wouldn't want her doing a single rally. She'll single-handedly sink our chances.
100%. Now, I do want to show you a little more of Hillary Clinton and what her brand of unity is really about.
Before we go to the clip, can I just say, look, this is going to prove definitively. They never mean unity. At the time, Bernie's leading. He was a front runner.
Yes.
Right now, they're close to a tie. Biden's taking a small lead in delegates, right? But while Bernie is the front runner and Biden's getting clobbered in Iowa and New Hampshire, Hillary Clinton is all over television bashing the Democratic front runner. Why? Because unity doesn't mean unity. Unity means compliance. You will comply with the establishment and whatever the board of Walmart wants. Otherwise, we're gonna smear you, and all of our friends on cable news are gonna help us do it. So now, get a load of so-called unity when Bernie was the front runner.
Hillary Clinton unplugged and unleashing tonight on so many topics, including her former rival, Senator Bernie Sanders, saying, quote, nobody likes him, nobody wants to work with him, and refusing to say whether she'll endorse him if he's the 2020 nominee.
On a good day, my wife likes me, so let's clear the air on that one. Secretary Clinton is entitled to her point of view.
Now Clinton's going there again, telling Ellen that Sanders can't deliver on his ambitious campaign promises.
If you promise the moon and you can't deliver the moon, then that's going to be one more indicator of how, we just can't trust each other.
I'm old enough to remember when she said similar things about Barack Obama in 2008 about him promising the moon.
Joe Biden has said flat out Bernie Sanders could not beat Donald Trump. Do you agree?
I don't think he'd be our strongest nominee, no. And that's what this primary process is about. Let's see who emerges, but for everybody voting today or in any of the contests ahead of time, the most important issue is who can defeat Donald Trump.
Do you mean the Mueller report?
Yeah, the indictments.
Okay.
The report itself, I think, is also worth reading. But if you read the indictments, basically they were like, hey, let's do everything we can to elect Donald Trump. I mean, those are quotes.
Those are
taken,
words they
those
said,
are words that taken, and they also said Bernie Sanders, but that's for another
Do we
day.
hate Bernie Sanders?
What?
I am proud to be a Democrat. I've been a Democrat for decades. I have supported Democrats. I've worked for Democrats. Bernie's not a Democrat.
Why do you think the secretary is still talking about 2016?
That is a good question. Ask him.
I had a lot more experience than he did and got a lot more done than he had.
Unfortunately, his campaign and his principal supporters were just very difficult and really constantly not just attacking me, but my supporters. I mean, politics should be the art of addition and multiplication, not subtraction and division.
How's that for irony? By the way, Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat, he's an independent. And remember, the politics is the art of addition, like when you bring in independence. Oops. Everything she says sounds as if she won the presidency and that she was obviously the better candidate. She's never going to stop with the sour grapes of, if it wasn't for that dastardly Bernie Sanders and his Twitter followers, I would have won. I wouldn't have had to show up in Wisconsin or Michigan or anywhere else. I wouldn't have had to run any campaign at all. I would have just been coronated. But they came along and said things that were true during the primary, like I was a terrible candidate and we'll lose to Donald Trump. Oh, right, we were right about that. And we've never stopped being punished by the rest of the media for having the temerity to be correct. And now we're correct about Joe Biden. And if Joe Biden wins the nomination and he gets mauled by Trump, they'll get angry at us all over again.
Well, let them get angry, because the only thing that really matters is that we tell our audience the truth and we give them the information they need to make the right choice for themselves. And if it weren't for our audience, we wouldn't even be able to do what we're doing. So thank you to everyone who supports us. And if you want to support independent media, specifically this show, this company, you can do so by going to tyt.com/go. We're doing a fundraiser to keep TYT sustainable. And we couldn't do it without you guys. So tyt.com/go.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.